Hi, intrepid viewers. Here we are, Lena Rodriguez from Australia, and you guys, thanks for cruising by. So we've got juicy things to cover. It's like hardly 24 hours goes by without another financial drama for the Yeti. But first, Peter Navarro's looking at 4 months jail. He'll appeal it and having to go, failing to comply with a congressional subpoena. You know, that they don't think there's any part B to these actions, So I want to have a quick look before I even warm up. If he gets a jail sentence, so should that illustrious statesman, Jim Jordan, right? Another one, the brain of a goldfish. How can they be in the halls of Congress, really and truly? Yeah. So let's have a quick look. Oh, I'll use the Deviant Moon cards. Why wouldn't you? For Jim Jordan. So, and later I'm going to do the GOP vice president race. Oh my God. So let's have a look here. Jim Jordan, is he looking at a jail term? All right. He gets the King of Wands. That's him. Oh, the Five of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. Let's do one more. Yeah, 2 fives. Fives are losses. So his cards, they start with the King of Wands. And in this deck, you can see the King of Wands is holding forth and he's got his sort of devilish, impish, hangers on. He has his own admirers. No accounting for taste, is there really? If you look at this card carefully, the Five of Pentacles, which is usually that out in the cold card, see the eye watching? He is being eyeballed, right? People are looking at that. He then gets the Knight of Pentacles. He's chuffing along in his own little world. Notice it's a 3-wheeler. That's about all he's capable of driving, right? So he gets the Ace of Wands because he is a firebrand and this vaguely creepy baby here. So I think he's been protected to some extent by the party, but he's not the most popular guy in the room, any room, even his own lounge room probably. So I don't know how long this protection will last, but it won't last because here is the Five of Swords, which is going down fighting. Well, he better pay attention is all I can say about that. So let's look at the Financial Monitor, the ex-judge who was appointed in New York in the aftermath of the Trump org case, where they have all been found guilty of fraud, endless fraud, although there's another case happening, because I think this initial Letitia James case and stuff was over the last 5 or 6 years, because you remember Ivanka skated away because they only went back so many years. And now I think there's another case coming for 10 years before that. So the judge, Barbara Jones, looking at Trump org. So she's been working over the last 14 months and she wrote a scathing letter to Judge Egeron about their finances that were riddled, she said, with inconsistent and incomplete disclosures and errors. they'd formed 521 entities. How could you even keep track of them? And you can just see Alan Weiselberg and that other guy, McConney, we'll just create another entity. And they all lent money to each other under these entities. And in a footnote, she described, whoops, a $50 million loan between the Yeti and one of these entities. And of course, there was no paperwork with it, just $50 million. Oh, interesting sum of money because that's his legal fees at the moment, 50 mil. We'll get back to that. So she has flagged that as very suspicious. And at the same time, the Dems are pushing for a breach of the emoluments. So we're going to look, first of all, he will hear this week or next week how much he owes in the New York case. The figures that are being sort of flung around are anywhere between 200 mil and 370 mil on top of E. Jean Carroll. Salute to E. Jean Carroll. And she and her magnificent lawyer are planning how to use that money to help other women and worthy causes. Isn't that refreshing? Because no one needs those sort of sums of money. So she's more than entitled to cream off whatever she wants, but the bulk of it is going to worthy organisations. So I love that. So this is, first of all, what can we expect from this payment that will be revealed this week or next week? It's the ace or whatnot. Got the same cards as Jim Jordan in a completely different deck. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay. Now, it's going to come down hard, fast, and heavy. Boom. Right between the eyes. Right. It's going to be a shock because the Yeti's incapable of keeping anything in that head. We know he has the brain of a cactus. And so each one of these is a brand new day and a brand new shock. Even he will be shocked. I think we might all be shocked. The Knight of Pentacles, how is he going to pay it? Now, he then gets the Star card here, which I think is, he was famous for doing this. This is how he taught the kids, you just don't pay bills, you talk yourself up, you talk up your assets, all of that. And he was quite famous for that. Will he be able to hold on to anything? It's going to be a struggle because after a lifetime of grift and graft and everything else, it's like his fighting tools, which is money, are being taken from him. Not a minute too soon. We've all been through this ordeal for, 6 or 7 years now. But this case with these pentacles, I think this represents her. She's very steady, no frills, make her case. It's not going to be a pretty thing to behold. Can't you see him? He'll be, sitting there going burger, fries, ketchup, and they'll be saying, no, Mr. Trump, sorry, that's the lunch menu. It's not your new cognitive test. This is the figure. I think he's going to flip even further. Now let's talk for a minute about Jamie Raskin and the others who are doing him for the emoluments clause. Why wasn't this done in 2016? I'm sorry. It's 6 years past his infringement. You almost can't blame the Yeti for forgetting what he did, you know. And although 8 million doesn't seem like much, we all know it's tip of the iceberg. And this is money received from foreign powers in contravention of the emoluments clause. Do you remember? We all had to learn how to spell emoluments. And we thought, awesome, when he was saying, come and stay in my hotel and all that stuff. That was all the emoluments. But finally, so how will the Dems go with this case? How will the Dems go with this case? Will it get through the next stage? Dems, it's a kleptocracy, isn't it? If you just take money, it's not a functioning government, it was a kleptocracy. Okay, having a look here. Oh, Ace of Wands keeps coming up in the Fool. So I think with these cards, what is suggested to me is they're being very careful. They're not rushing it. Well, God knows they haven't been rushing anything, any of the major players for the US government. Not the Dems' fault. Please do not think that's what I'm saying. But they're taking it kind of quietly. It's not like the New York thing, which is very loud. It's not like E. Jean Carroll, which is very loud. They're keeping it a bit under wraps. They are going to make the case against the King of Pentacles. It will be crystal clear. This is the one, even Fred Flintstone could get this. It will be crystal clear. And I'm so excited about this. The Fool card, stepping off the cliff, brand new day. I think this could lead, again, not a minute too soon, to stricter rules around what the president can and can't say, certainly where they get their money from. There will have to be more transparency in the aftermath of all this, but I'm talking maybe 2 years' time into a new democratic cycle. There's lots and lots of mechanisms of the American system that need to be changed, ditched, upgraded. The system has struggled to contain this circus figure because there's been no precedent. Remember, even Nixon, when he got caught, he had the grace to resign. It was considered, the obvious thing to do. And then he got pardoned. Ooh. That brings us to Nikki Haley. Will she still pardon the Yeti? There's a question in itself. Now, I don't trust Nikki Haley as far as I could throw her. And I think she's the next threat to America in a 1,000 ways. But she's performing a function for all of us, actually, at the moment. It's so satisfying to see someone go for the jugular. And she is. She's now no holds barred. She's saying he is unhinged. She is saying on Fox News, she is saying he's unhinged. Hate to say it, go Nikki. But with my caveat, we'll have to deal with the Nikki Haley drama down the track because she's hard-nosed, hard-ass, and not in a good way. But we're entitled to sit back and enjoy the schadenfreude for the next few weeks or months while she goes for him, right? Because none of the men have had the cojones to do it, and she's doing it. So enjoy it, and we'll deal with the rest later. So Nikki Haley, she also said the Yeti put the country in $8 trillion worth of debt in 4 years. She's saying the things that need to be said. And she's breaking up the pack ice that is the timid, pathetic GOP that's scared of its own base, who's allowing the angry and the ignorant to control them in every way. She's at least injecting something back into the conversation that resembles sanity. It ends there because she is a problem too. But there we have it. Now, while I am warming up here for who's going to be the running mate for Spaghetti, you'd have to think no one's queuing up to get Alina Habba as their lawyer. I think she'll be light on for work. Her client went in with a fine of $5 million. And after her dexterous courtroom shenanigans, he's come out with a debt of $83 million. Staggering. So I don't think her phone's that busy. But now for our main question of the day. Now, I've got a list. Who are the contenders? It's still a little while out, so I'm just going to draw a card for each of them just to get the vibe rather than a finished prediction on who it'll be. But it's such a shiny list. You've got Elise Stern. You've got Ben Carson and Tim Scott. What can you say about these two men? It's an Olympics year, 2024. They're going for the gold. Who can perform the most abject humiliation? No, let it be me. No, let it be me. You know, Tim Scott's "I love you" to the trumpet was nauseating. It was just unwatchable. And Ben Carson's, ugh, I get shivers just thinking about him. Then on top of those, you've got Matt Gaetz. He'd be a little mini me for the Yeti, wouldn't he? Yeah. And as if it couldn't get any worse, but it can, Tucker Carlson is in the mix. There may be more, but they're the ones I've heard mentioned. So, like I said, I'm just going to pull one card for each of them and see about that. Okay. All right. Vice President GOP. Yeah, it's a knife in the phone booth situation, isn't it? Like, ugh. All right, let's have a look. First of all, we're going to look at Elise Stern. Now, her card, Queen of Wands, she's in with a chance, right? She's in with a chance. You could argue that she has better communication than some of the other candidates. Equally, it could be a legal issue. There could be something lurking in Elise Stern's background that could come back to bite her. We'll see. So now we're going to do Ben Carson. Ben Carson. He gets the Hierophant. So I'm trying to be fair here, even though I don't normally do that. I am proudly not fair and balanced. Okay, so if you're a new viewer, just be aware of that. Hierophant. So government, law and order, etc. He has the advantage of having been in the government before, only to take away housing subsidies from the needy and give it to his friends and relations. Hush my lips, entertainment only, But essentially, there's a lot of investigative journalists that he was appalling, but I think he has the advantage of that. Next one, Tim Scott. What rocks Tim Scott's boat? I don't understand. Tim Scott. Oh my goodness. Tim Scott. Oh, okay. I get it. Now, we know for a whole range of obvious reasons, the GOP aren't going to be happy really with a black man as VP. But we know the Yeti loves sycophants, and so Mike Pence paid the ultimate price for letting him get away with everything. But in this, I think there's a naivety to Tim Scott, and he thinks if I can just get in, if Trump falls over, suddenly I could be president of the United States. I think he wants to steal the job. Why should we be surprised by anything? Okay, who's next? Oh, mini-me. Matt Gaetz. Isn't there another inquiry about Matt Gaetz and underage girls and stuff? He narrowly escaped before, but Matt Gaetz, has he got a chance at VP? Whoops, what fell out? No, that'd be no, because he does carry the baggage and the injury from that. And he's got another drawback, which is no one likes Matt Gaetz. Sorry, pet. You've got the charisma of a Wolverine. No, he's out. The other three, still vague possibilities. Matt Gaetz, no. Oh, Tucker Carlson. Oh, God. He keeps saying no, but that means yes. And would he? Would he inflict himself on the American public like this? Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson. Eight of Wands, he'll get momentum. But here's the thing. Here's the dilemma for the Yeti. He doesn't want someone strong. That's why he chose Mike Pence. He doesn't want someone who will outshine him. That's why he chose Mike Pence. So I think this could be the party lobbying for Tucker Carlson to try and drag in who's left of the MAGAville with Tucker Carlson. I think it is a GOP decision, not the Yetis. I don't think he'd be happy with him. Well, we have to keep our eyes very closely on all this. So, guys, today is Wednesday in Australia. Let me look at the date. It's the 1st today here. So coming to you from tomorrow. So you've got to stay strong, because remember, our mantra now, from now till November, is it's America or Trump, right? People have to be crystal clear about that. So guys, big breaths, stay strong, and register someone else to vote. Double your vote. Register friend, family, neighbour, work colleague, someone to go. So let me know your coping techniques in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you next time.